NASA's moonship reaches Kennedy Space Center, promises lunar joyride. 4 lucky astronauts will loop the moon while the rest of us are stuck Earthside, dreaming of zero gravity and moon cheese.
Republican offices receive U.S. flags with swastikas, blame optical illusion. When your stars and stripes come with a side of fascism, maybe it's time to check who's selling your patriotism. Turns out, hate is the real optical illusion.
UN reports aid trucks struggle in Gaza, ceasefire fails the north. A ceasefire that delivers aid but can't mend roads or hearts. Gaza's lifeline is a slow caravan, stalled by the wreckage of conflict and promises unmet.
Boston mayor dismisses Trump threat to remove World Cup games, calls it bluster. When a former reality TV host tries to play ball with a city, the only goal is scoring headlines, not points.
Cloudflare CEO Matthew Prince challenges Google, demands AI overhaul for transparency. Like David versus Goliath with servers, Prince wields code and conviction, aiming to trip Google's data-hungry colossus and make it play fair.
Indiana University fires newspaper advisor for refusing censorship, calls it policy. When truth becomes a liability, integrity is the first casualty, and the students get a masterclass in institutional hypocrisy instead of journalism.
Like a bad sequel no one asked for, McAdams returns, banking on voters forgetting the last cliffhanger where he was voted off the island.
Real relationships morph into parasocial bonds as digital life blurs lines. When your best friend competes with memes and cat videos for attention, it's no wonder love feels like another notification to swipe away.
During shutdown, Senator Justice throws birthday bash for Bulldog Baby Dog because why should a crisis interrupt canine festivities? While the nation holds its breath, Congress finds time for party hats and kibble, proving once again that political theater is best served with a side of dog treats.
John Bolton pleads not guilty to sharing classified information, denies all charges. In a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, leaking secrets seems less scandalous when it's done with a suit and a mustache.
UK energy suppliers warn grid upgrades spike bills, calling it progress. Like charging admission to a house of mirrors, they promise clearer reflection, while consumers pay for the privilege of seeing the same old distortions.
Fed Governor Miran demands half-point rate cut while Waller insists on a quarter point, proving unity is overrated. When central bankers argue over fractions, you know the economy's not just teetering, it's doing the cha-cha on a fiscal fault line.
OpenAI employs legal maneuvers against nonprofits, claiming it's for innovation. When silencing the little guys is your innovation strategy, you're not advancing the future, you're just securing your own echo chamber.
Curriculum chief denounces compulsory GCSE resits, calls them inflexible. Forcing square pegs into round holes is a time-honoured tradition. After all, why adapt when you can just blame students for not fitting the mould?
Gold's historic rally exposes deeper concerns, but the glitter hides the cracks. Like a gilded life raft on a sinking ship, it shines while the world trembles beneath the waves of uncertainty.
UP member declares racist chat leak as party's future, then blames society's stew. When your political strategy involves blaming the marinade instead of changing the recipe, expect a dish no one wants to swallow.
Treasury reports shutdown costs $15 billion daily, calls it an investment in dysfunction. With the economy bleeding cash like a broken ATM, the only thing booming is the Treasury's collection of IOUs and empty promises.
State Department revokes visas over Charlie Kirk posts, calls it security. When memes wield more power than diplomacy, the line between statecraft and shitposting blurs.
Trump reassures on China trade, stocks rise but trust, nowhere to be found. Like a magician who insists the rabbit's still in the hat, while we all know it's in his pocket.
Only 30% of former NFL players live past 65, and the league calls it progress. As another athlete leaves the field too soon, the NFL's playbook for player longevity remains a fumble of epic proportions.
Israel releases 135 bodies, then claims ceasefire success. When peace is measured in cadavers instead of conversations, it's a grim reminder that some deals are inked in blood rather than hope.
As bankers dive for cover, gold becomes the new security blanket. Who knew financial stability was just a shiny rock away?
When your brand is eternal rebellion, but your setlist starts to resemble a lullaby, maybe it's time to redefine rock or just embrace the snooze button.
Citigroup raises €2.75 billion in bond offering, calls it a strategic move. When banks get richer while the rest of us tighten our belts, it's like watching a magic trick where the rabbit keeps your wallet.
U.S. Secretary of Defense dons Russian flag tie at Zelensky-Trump meeting, declaring fashion the new foreign policy. When diplomacy is just a wardrobe choice, who needs negotiations? Maybe next time he'll sport a peace sign and call it a day.
Kenyans mourn ex-PM Odinga, calling themselves orphans in his political heartland. Farewells become dirges when leaders leave legacies as large as their egos, leaving followers to clutch at memories like straws in a political storm.
Russell Vought pulls strings as Trump's shadow president, leaving democracy in the dark. When the puppet master hides in plain sight, you start to wonder if democracy is just a marionette show with invisible strings.
When your family tree doubles as a corporate ladder, who needs business ethics?
Trump administration greenlights covert CIA action in Venezuela. Secrecy shrouds the mission. When democracy is a cloak for clandestine games, it's like playing chess without a board, hoping no one notices the missing pieces. US plans to deport survivors of drug vessel strike. When your war on drugs is a never-ending cycle of sending people back to where they started.
Rice Weevil on grain wins 2 4025. Who knew a bug's close-up could outshine influencers and politicians? Maybe it's time we put more pests under the spotlight, starting with the ones in office.
Investors stall on Takaishi trade, awaiting policy specifics from would-be PM. When promises of stimulus are as vague as a fortune cookie, investors prefer to keep their chips off the table and their wallets closed.
U.S. Treasury buys Argentine pesos at parallel rate, boosting bonds unexpectedly. When even the Treasury's getting creative with currency, you know the financial system is just a sophisticated game of Monopoly with real-world consequences.
EPA canceled $7 billion in solar grants, claiming low-income homes run on sunshine and dreams.
Russian installed governor reports 2 killed in Ukrainian attack on Kherson.
Rachel Reeves hints at boosting UK fiscal buffer, solving the mystery of whether thin air counts as a safety net. Reeves' budget strategy: more hot air to inflate the fiscal parachute, because nothing says stability like a gusty economic breeze.
SteelSeries Arctis Nova 3 launches at $110, fixes nothing. Budget headsets promise champagne sound on a beer budget, yet somehow leave you with a hangover and the same old tinny echo.
Greece reaffirms veto on Turkey's participation in EU SAFE program, calling it essential. When your neighbor's inclusion in a safety initiative feels like a threat, maybe the program needs a new name, or a reality check.
Warner Bros. Discovery teams up with Korean media giant, hopes to outpace Netflix in K-drama race. In a plot twist worthy of its own series, Warner chases K-drama gold, proving Hollywood's latest obsession. If you can't beat 'em, join 'em, and subtitle it.
Tesla offloads Cybertrucks to SpaceX and xAI as sales slump continues. When your electric dreams turn into unsellable metal, the only option left is to launch them into the void or let algorithms drive them off the lot.
Ukraine's intercepted drones rewrite air war playbook and NATO takes notice. When your homemade tech makes the world's most powerful alliance lean in, you know you've turned the rules of engagement into mere suggestions.
Red Cross retrieves another hostage body, then Israel urges calm. When a coffin becomes a diplomatic tool, the line between humanity and politics blurs, leaving grief to navigate the barren landscape of conflict.
The US threatens sanctions over UN climate tax on shipping, calls Norway a target. When the world's biggest polluter bullies nations for daring to tax pollution, it's like the fox crying foul at the chicken coop security upgrade.
Social Security disability promises stability until 2099, but fears linger. When bureaucratic assurances come with expiration dates, the vulnerable are left wondering if their safety net is woven from threads of empty promises.
Russia deploys AI to enhance cyber attacks, claiming it's a defensive measure. When your defense strategy involves unleashing digital chaos, you're not defending your borders, you're erasing them with a cyber eraser.
French nuclear giant partners with Tennessee startup to produce US reactor fuel. When a European powerhouse teams up with American innovation, you can bet the energy market's about to get a whole lot more radioactive.